FPS games are well known for adrenaline-pumping combat and an amazing gameplay experience. We all love to experience different first-person games set in distinct worlds. In this video, I have mentioned 10 great FPS games that will surely provide you with one of the craziest experiences. And by the way, this list is based on my opinion. So, if I forgot some of your favorite games, then let me know in the comments. Also, there are some bonus games at the end. So, without further ado, click that subscribe button and let's look at the first game on our list. Number 10. Metro Exodus. This is one of the best games in the Metro series. Everything is taken up a notch here. I really love the setting and the graphics. You can literally see that the developers did an awesome job here. Players should expect to see destroyed buildings in a post-apocalyptic Russia where they need to find shelter from time to time. Every single detail screams as if it's been through hell. There will be other survivors as well, because as you can see, one person is not going to be able to make it alive in these harsh conditions. Also, you travel in a metro, as most survivors are living in these metros because of the post-apocalyptic world. But generally, you will always find some problems that will force you to go out in the open world to look for the solutions. So, if you want a highly graphically detailed post-apocalyptic game, then don't look further, as Metro Exodus will be your prime choice. Besides all the greatness, the attention to details deserves a lot of appreciation. Some common examples are how the metro evolves throughout the storyline, also the terrain and whether or noteworthy. Nevertheless, despite being a drastic upgrade from the prequels, Metro Exodus contains so many awesome features that will get you hooked. The freedom of exploring the open world is on the level of Far Cry games. Along with this, cutscenes in this game are visually satisfying. Tell me in the comments about your favorite post-apocalyptic games.
Don't let go, Artyom!
Number 9. Shadow Warrior series. Now, Shadow Warrior is not exactly a FPS game. As a player, you have an option to choose several weapons, including swords and gadgets. I'm just saying that this is not your usual FPS games like Battlefield. However, the adrenaline-pumping combat that this game provides is straight up mind-boggling. I remember I had a blast when I first started playing the series. Now, keep in mind that there's a chronological order which is not that necessary. So, I recommend playing either the second or the most recent third installment. I started the series with the final part as I believe that it's the most graphically and visually developed along with improved gameplay mechanics. If we talk about the in-game content, then without spoiling anything, your main goal in this game is to just move forward and make your way by blowing up whoever comes in your way. You are basically dropped in a location, and from that point on you must keep completing objectives and making your way through waves of enemies. The best thing about Shadow Warrior are the coolest weapons and soundtracks. The game literally provides you with a bunch of different weapons ranging from distinct guns and swords along with some devastating powers.
You ordered some wang? Oh yeah, you ordered some wang?
When I first played the game, I got completely hooked as I was having a blast and felt like an absolute beast while slashing through waves of enemies with a banger soundtrack. The amount of fun that you are going to have across all three games is mind-blowing. As for me, the best thing I liked is the music or soundtracks playing in the background while I slice through waves of enemies and manipulate my powers for different kill shots. By the way, I recommend starting out with the third part.
This can of warbags.
Number 8. Titanfall 2. one of the best underrated FPS games of all time. Titanfall 2 can be considered a masterpiece because every aspect of the game is amazing, including the story, gameplay, graphics, and weapons. The game is more sophisticated and polished than its predecessor. There are no problems, and the graphics are significantly better than the original. Also, Titanfall 2 is not like Call of Duty or other warfare games. It is unique and innovative in its own way. The mechanics are seamless and enjoyable. The gameplay is fast-paced, and each kill feels satisfying. The main story is breathtaking, one-of-a-kind, and deeply moving. Also, the replay value is high, and the multiplayer is one of the best I've ever seen. You can play the game all day, and will still find that each match is different. Cosmetics and weapons take the cake given that Titanfall 2 provides a wide range of options in every element. The leveling up progression system is rewarding, granting you access to more weapons and skills suitable for various playstyles.
This will be interesting.
To be honest, if anything in this game deserves to be named the finest, it is Titanfall's story. I admire the writing and how emotional it becomes near the end. The friendship between Jack and BT will never be forgotten. The campaign definitely demands a remaster, or at least a third sequel. Another important factor is the coolest moves and powers of various Titans. Take my word for it. Just start playing the game, and you'll be hooked, resulting in completing every mission or playing multiplayer for hours upon hours. Titanfall 2 is a ridiculously fantastic game. Number 7. Battlefield 4. Battlefield games are some of the best shooting games out there. There are so many good games in the series. It gets really hard to choose which one is the best. However, this time I'm going with the 4th installment, as it's the best one in my opinion. Some of us criticize EA for microtransactions, but we can all agree that the company has provided us with some of the best games, including Mass Effect, Burnout, Cricket 7, Titanfall 2, and many more. Now, there's just something about the Battlefield games that gives the players a sense of excitement and exhilarating action. Almost all the stuff that you see in the war movies is all there in these games. Adrenaline-pumping combat and gameplay are two of my favorite features. Battlefield 4 set the bar for FPS games. I believe that every FPS game should hold themselves up to this bar. The immense customizations and availability of several weapons and gears is mind-blowing. Also, as you keep progressing within the game, you will unlock new options such as changing classes from assault to recon depending on the need. Now, if we talk about the server availability, then I can assure you guys that compared to other games, Battlefield 4 still maintains enough players. So, without a doubt, you can just dive in as it's the best game from the series. Some other alternatives are going to be Battlefield 1 and the 5th installment along with Bad Company 2. If you pick any of these games, then you will surely be compelled to play all the other games, resulting in spending over 100 hours. Number 6. Bright Memory. I can't even begin to describe the greatness of this game. It's not your typical FPS shooter. Bright Memory is quite a short game, and you will be able to finish it within 2 hours. It's just that I had one of the craziest blasts playing this game. My friend recommended it to me, and after I realized that one person made the entire game, I was mesmerized after seeing the dedication and the remarkable work done. Bright Memory is made by a Chinese developer, and mad respect to that guy for making a game of that level. I'm not saying that you will feel the thrill of Doom or Borderlands. It's just that the cutscenes and fast fast-paced combat is one of the best I have seen. Also, on top of it, the playtime is what makes the overall game astounding. I just think that making a 20-hour game with everything exceptionally well compared to a 2-hour game. So, that's why I prefer this small, well-made game. Low-key, the name Bright Memory itself sounds intriguing. There are so many great things about the game, ranging from the stunning-looking main character to guns-blazing combat, expanded storyline to game's environment, along with some boss battles. If I go off topic for a second, then I just want to say that in these times we are getting insane level of games with bugs or glitches and even less details. So, it's awesome to see a game that is heavily well-made just by a single developer in his spare time. Also, Bright Memory contains good replay value, as you can play the game several times. The quality of graphics is just a feast for the eyes. The only downside that some of you guys will find is how short the main story is. However, I recommend looking at this from a positive perspective, and you will have an all-out mind-blowing experience. Number 5. Doom Eternal. We just can't stop playing this game. Doom Eternal is the pinnacle of FPS genre. You have an all-out package that has everything that the FPS genre has to offer. It's one of those games that you can buy and will have the ultimate FPS experience. The fast-paced shooting and rhythmic beats or soundtracks enhances the experience, resulting in having an insane blast. I always say to everyone that if you can adjust your pace with the rhythm of Eternal, then no one can stop you from having an amazing action gameplay. Every corner there's a demon lurking. You will feel like an absolute beast while killing waves of enemies. Every gun feels perfectly tuned. Every level is impeccably paced, and the monster slaying reminds me of Doom Slayer. One of the best things about Eternal is the availability on different platforms. The game looks astonishing on every platform, such as the Xbox Series and PS5. In my opinion, this game also sets the bar for every other FPS game. I believe that every modern game should meet the requirements of Doom Eternal. This is what gamers want from the FPS genre. If only the developers decide to make every single game this much fun and make them available on different platforms, then we won't even need a new console. The game is smooth, and the controls let you easily move around the battlefield and destroy demons along the way. It's simple to switch between weapons and chain attacks to defeat a larger number of demons. The quantity of lore concealed throughout the world was incredible and fully immersed the player in the world of the Slayer.
Long enough to survive this cursed season.
Number 4. Destiny 2. I never had such high expectations for this game. I believe that Destiny 2 surprised all of us, as no one would have expected how good it is. Destiny 2 improves upon every aspect of the original. The game is well made, and every detail is a game changer. The developers kind of took the idea from the first game and made an entirely new masterpiece. Definitely a best recommendation for anyone who wants to step into the FPS games.
Dr. Conductor is overflowing with arc energy. Can't even get near the place, much less break the lock. We need to find a solution, and something tells me our fallen...
The campaign is enough to justify the overall quality of the game. Destiny 2 pretty much speaks for itself about how good it is. It's one of those games where you can easily spend over 1,000 hours, and I know a lot of players who has crossed that milestone. You will be compelled to find out more about the story, as the lore is scattered, making the overall storyline hard to grasp. The graphics in Destiny 2 are nothing short of breathtaking. Each environment is meticulously designed, with stunning visuals that bring the game's world to life. My final thoughts on this game are going to be that Destiny 2 is a game with limitless content and a captivating story for those willing to dive deeper. Its amazing graphics, numerous gameplay experiences, and rich detailed narratives set it apart in the gaming world. If you enjoy creative difficulties and are willing to invest time in an epic journey, then Destiny 2 is the game for you. Number 3. Far Cry 4. I've played most of the Far Cry series, and this is one of my favorites. It's also a lot more challenging than the newer games, which I honestly really love. I played it for the first time in 2023, and it still holds up. The world may not be as interactive, but there is still a lot to keep you busy and annoyed. I'm looking at you, Eagle, and Pack of Wild Dogs. The driving is fantastic for the game's age, a massive improvement after FC3. The radio towers are fun to climb. I notice gamers either love or hate them, but I personally find them fun to climb as they can be slightly challenging. This game is worth playing at least once, and I can easily see why it's a fan favorite for a lot of Far Cry fans, myself included. With the story, it really does mess with your moral compass, and the world in Far Cry 4 is just beautiful and absolutely amazing. Kirat is probably one of the most beautiful locations I have ever seen in a video game. So many unique locations, and so much respect for the region's culture, as it is heavily based on Nepal and India. Animals roam across the map and can be used to craft new items or just be sold for money. There are also lots of hidden collectibles which can also give you money, unlock missions, and complete objectives. There is also a side mode to Far Cry 4 known as Shangri-La, set thousands of years in the past in a mythological time where demons have invaded Shangri-La, and you play as a warrior to fight off the demonic invasion. Also very fun in itself is a very beautiful world. They didn't have to add Shangri-La. It would have changed the story in no way, but they did. Really shows how much effort they put into this game. Finally, let's talk about the gameplay. The guns in this game are all so fun to use, and there are so many different combat styles to choose from. All the guns are viable in some way or another, and you aren't punished for using any of them. And the absolute best way to experience this to the fullest is outposts and fortresses. You can go loud and proud, going in head first with heavy weapons shooting everyone in sight, or you can go stealthy, disabling all the alarms to avoid reinforcements and picking off enemies one by one, or even use both, using stealth to get yourself into a good position, take out the alarms and some tougher enemies, then rush out loud. There are so many different enemy types, and none of the outposts or fortresses feel lazily made. Overall, Far Cry 4 is my most favorite Far Cry game, and is probably one of the best games ever made. Its stunning world, awesome gameplay, and cool story really put it up there, and I still find myself coming back to play more even 10 years after its release. Number 2. Bioshock Infinite. I never thought it could beat the first Bioshock, but it did in many ways. The story is innovative, full of twists, moral choices, and political themes. The gameplay is fun and brilliant. Columbia's graphics and presentation are stunning. I still remember the detailed clouds and propaganda posters around the city. I won't spoil the story because it's something you need to experience yourself. Everyone should play this game to appreciate the art of gaming. It stirs up all kinds of emotions and makes you think and feel deeply. I hope they make more Bioshock games, but I doubt any will evoke the emotions that Infinite did. It's perfect, and I'd rather keep those memories. In short, a 10 out of 10 game, and much more. Before I reveal my number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Half-Life.
If we can get this weapon, what we're doing here could change.
Resident Evil Village. Outer Worlds.
to go. Don't mess with us. Solid kill.
Halo Master Chief.
Thank you for
Deathloop.
destroying paradise.
Then it's on me to end it for all of us.
Number 1. Resident Evil 7.
You must have lost your mind. Look, officer, deputy.
Honestly, I don't think there's any need for a description, as everyone knows about the popularity of Resident Evil Biohazard. The game is the combination of the fourth and the second installment. You will see a great deal of action, along with the true sense of suspense and horror. The main storyline is decent and reminds me of a movie that I just can't seem to remember. The idea of just getting caught up in a weird family with horror elements is kind of interesting. What are your thoughts about Jack? Tell me in the comments. The chainsaw scene is still my favorite, as it gives the same vibes as Texas Chainsaw. Now somehow, I felt really hyped up as I know what villains I am going to kill. It was extremely satisfying to kill each twisted family member. Capcom did an amazing job with this game. Don't know how they forgot to make Dragon's Dogma more distinct and not just a remake. In my opinion, this is what saved the Resident Evil series along with Village and second remake. Biohazard also has a great replay value as you can dive into the DLC and minigames.
I just want you to know that wasn't me. I don't know what happened. There's so much that you need to know.
There you are. You gave us quite a scare.
In the end, I would like to give a mention to Resident Evil Village, as it also uses a first-person perspective. As someone who is more interested in playing graphically better and remakes than Biohazard and Village are two prime choices, along with the fourth part as it's more action-focused. Nevertheless, every survival horror fan should play Resident Evil games. Even if you are someone who chooses these games as your introduction to the FPS genre, then they will still act as the finest experiences. Alright, this finishes our list of 10 all-time best FPS games. I assure you that all these games have one of the finest storylines and exhilarating FPS combat. Now, I know that I probably haven't mentioned your favorite games, but I only had 10 spots. So, recommend me the games I forgot to add to this list, and I will surely make a new video about them. Also, tell us about your favorite FPS games and their plus points. Anyways, if you have made it this far, then please subscribe, as I'm close to reaching 10,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button and join my Discord community for more awesome gaming recommendations.